So we'll begin with prayers. Sit up straight. Keep your eyes closed, body relaxed, and your heart unconditionally open. Where mind can no longer interrupt the direct reception of reality. Conditionally open heart is regulated by fear and attachment. When you are unconditionally open, you are truly connected to your heart center. All external relationships, first they form attachment and the fear that comes with it, but it becomes visible after you enter into the attachment early process. So allow yourself to drop into the inner connection of Shiva and Shakti, the male and female polarity, consciousness and energy. When you get fully connected to the source, you simultaneously connect to the lineage. Your connection to the lineage is what happens when you get connected to the source of oneness within. It is a personal experience. Direct experience that happens within Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Babuji. Most people who practice yoga, they practice yoga through the medium of the body. So, during the waking hours, all day long, all the activities that you have, no matter where you go, what you do, who you are with, all the activities is handled through the medium of ego mind. And that's the way it is. Nobody questions that. So when you decide where to go, what to do, who to be with, you are deciding through the medium of the mind. And we are always doing it to the situations that are attractive to us. And we prevent ourselves from being the situations and relationships that we repel and are afraid of. So mind handles those situations all day long. That's why mind operates in a beta brainwaves. You know, that is very disturbed state of thoughts, feelings and emotions. And beta brainwaves operate on 3 different levels. The very low beta, mid beta and extreme beta. Extreme beta is where people are really schizophrenic and paranoid. They have no control over what they think, where they go, how to be in the external world life situations. Their mind is dysfunctioning. The yoga practice is about how to remove the extreme beta into mid beta and then the active beta, where people are very creative, efficient, effective in the external world. Sometimes we call it healthy ego. But it is the brain waves, how you operate. This yoga that you are learning is about how to create a paradigm shift from ego mind operating in a conflict-creating dualistic mode of thinking, living and interacting in life. And you learn how to do so on a yoga mat and then take it in a life. So, how to be in a very creative, you can be very efficient and effective in the external world, not just in the internal world. So when you operate in a low beta brain waves, you are successful. No matter what you do, you can make things happen. But what is yoga? And that also operates, it is operated by ego mind that is motivated by fear and self-rejection and guilt to do good things. That is beta brainwaves. It's not like you want to do good things, but you are afraid something will happen to you, so you do good things. Nothing wrong with it. But if you understand that beta brainwave cannot begin there, alpha brainwaves cannot begin there. Alpha brainwave begins when you let go of fear-motivated action or attachment-motivated action. So your action must start from being in harmony within. So inside, if you are afraid, anything you do good, even if you do good things, like you just practice yoga, lose weight, be more flexible. But the self-concept, that force, that fear and rejection, motivated, doesn't go away. Did you hear that? It doesn't go away. It continues. That which motivated is what feeds in even the good and bad actions. So this yoga is about how to enter into the integrated zone and act from there. So that is where comes our prana kriyas. And doing more and more through your intimate relationship with your wisdom of your body, called prana kriyas. Yes. So in your daily life, you ignore your wisdom of the body, you indulge in food or sex or any sensual indulgence and anger, fear-oriented issues all day long, you deal with it. You cannot practice this sadhana. This, you have to be free. You have to, external life is to be arranged. So you are not engaged externally, prompted by your fear, because self-rejection can be very efficient, very effective. Because fear-oriented people, they do amazing things in the external world. But they are what we call the winners, but to me, they are the losers. Why? Because you can see that with fear you can fight with situations, people, places and things outside to win and be better than and achieve more than what you had. Fear can do that. Did you know that? Self-rejection can even do it better because motivation is greater than love. So this, you want to change the motivation. Who is motivating your action? Like I am teaching now, I am doing this ashram. What motivates me is more important than what I am doing that looks such a beautiful humanitarian work. I'm helping people. No. For me, why am I doing what am I doing? Where does it come from? Am I trying to get better name, more fame, more success, write more books, more people love me? That's ego's work. It is worked from self-rejection, guilt, fear, to appear better rather than let go of the fear or attachment. They're two different things. So this yoga begins with, from the very beginning, because I saw that truth, how it works. So when I had the experience, I saw meditation is the way to first enter from conflict-creating, stress-producing, ego mind interacting with your body into co-creative interaction between your mind and your body. So when you ordinarily practice Hatha Yoga, your mind is in perpetual violation with your body. Like when you judge yourself, when you compare yourself, what are you doing? You're violating your body because ego mind is acting on beta brainwaves. And particularly when you face the edge in your body, like when you do posture and you come to an edge, guess what happens? Who is active there? Who is performing the posture? Edgy ego mind. It's become edgy. Edgy is fighting out of fear or trying to get, or attachment. Either one of the two. So that means ego mind is what rules everything we do from morning till evening. And then all activities are conducted at that level, so by the ego mind. And then you go on the yoga mat. Guess what? Who is going to manage that? Who is conducting the practice? Ego mind. Ego mind is, if you are doing just superficial reason like losing weight, being more flexible, or being nothing wrong with it. I'm talking about intention. That's what we want to. Like when I go to gym, I want to build my muscles strong and healthy. That's not what I'm talking about. That must be done. But who is doing it? So that addresses the inner part of the practice of yoga. You are doing on an internal level rather than external symptoms on which ego mind works. So ego mind works on the symptoms only. Symptoms means what appears on the surface, which is the effect, causes in your ego mind that is managing the effects, trying to get rid of it. With what? With fear or attachment. That becomes the motive of the ego mind. So that is why when people practice yoga practice without meditation, it is carried out by ego mind. That is why you will notice that while you are performing so-called yoga postures, internally your mind is practicing conflicts. It's judging your performance. You don't like your body. It is too stiff. I wish I had started. All kinds of conflict-creating dialogues internally. And externally, we are doing so-called yoga posture. Do you understand? So I call this approach, I am yoga practice, inner dimension of yoga. So you want to go into the inner dimension. So how to go into inner dimension? This you have to understand that your body is the temple of God. Most people do not know that. And it is the temple that we are using to enter the experience of yoga. So temple, like in India, there are temples. And people go to temple and they don't know what they are doing. They just go there, they ring the bell, and just as you enter, then do the arti, they bow down, they do puja, and come back home. That is their going to the temple. And what is in the temple? My father used to take me to Shiva temple. In the evening when he would go for a walk, he will go to the Shiva temple. So when I used to go, in retrospect now I remember, as soon as I entered the steps, there was Hanuman on the right-hand side. And then when we entered further, there was a bell. So my father will ring the bell. And then as I go, there was a turtle. And then when we went further, there was a Nandi, the bull. And then as we went further, there was a sanctum of Shiva. Our body is the temple. And there are stages through which you have to enter the temple. And if you don't know, then you are doing yoga postures like doing arti and puja and nothing is getting. You are not getting into the experience of oneness that Shiva is, that Shiva consciousness is. That is where Shiva and Shakti unite. That is called samadhi. That is there. It's not understandable. It is not to be understood. It is to be experienced in the practice of yoga. You see? So, this body is the temple. If you want to enter, you cannot enter just taking your body. Your body is the medium through which you connect to consciousness. So when consciousness you connect to, you are connecting to meditation that connects you to consciousness. So that is why Patanjali says yoga means witnessing modifications of mind. And then he also talks about Ashtanga Yoga. So what he's saying that without meditation, you cannot enter into any of the limbs of eight-limbed yoga. You cannot. That's what it is said. So that is why when I first wrote about Kripalu Yoga, I wrote yoga of meditation in motion. Do you understand the difference? Because I saw that in yoga you cannot enter without meditation. Otherwise, ego would take over automatically. That's how we live all day long. And when we enter the yoga mat, yoga doesn't happen because you are looking at the book and say yoga book, and because it says yoga postures, when you do that, you enter into yoga. No, it is inner dimension that you are entering. So this inner dimension is through the meditation. So when you meditate, let's say, when you are doing yoga postures or pranayams, see what is happening in your mind. When people are doing pranayam, have you seen, oh, I should be 16. Oh no, I can't do that. That's too much. I cannot hold that much. Maybe I should do. I don't know if it is wrong. Oh, but this book says this. I don't know who is right. Maybe I should check with somebody. So in other words, you are practicing conflict using pranayam as an excuse. Using postures as an excuse. Here you are using postures and pranayams as a medium to enter the inner dimension where you connect with the soul, with the oneness experience. So what do? So in this Shiva temple, what is there is pranayam. Hanuman represents, in Indian mythology, it's called the son of wind god. Wind means pranayam. If you do pranayam, you are walking in the body, right? And if you do pranayam, guess where do you go? When you do pranayam, it allows you to go into pratyahara. The turtle represents pratyahara. When you go, if you irritate a turtle, notice it will pull all its limbs in. So that is symbolic. So only if you are in meditation, you can watch. Your mind is wandering. Attention is diverted into many different external disturbances and inner disturbances. So when you practice meditation, then only you can go into pratyahara. And only when you collect the drifting attention, and where do you go? Concentration happens automatically. And then the meditation that was helping you to take you to go through these earlier steps allows you to drop into meditative state more fully because you worked out other areas that needs to be worked out. So meditation becomes the means and an end. Do you understand? If you don't have meditation as a means, how would you practice pratyahara? Just like candle gazing? It is a technique and that's okay for itself. But pratyahara in action cannot happen unless you combine it with meditation. So pratyahara and dharana. So if you combine your practice with hatha yoga, you automatically, through meditation, enter to pratyahara, dharana, and dhyana. So that means Patanjali's practice cannot be practiced separately as hatha yoga, physical discipline, and then practice raja yoga, mental discipline. Patanjali says that's not possible. He says clearly, yoga means witnessing modifications of mind. And then he doesn't give any yoga postures. There is a reason. Because he says you can do yoga in anywhere or whatever you are doing, wherever you are, whoever you are with, if you are practicing witnessing presence. And then yoga was discovered as one of the ways to enter that. But yoga happens anywhere through any other medium that you bring your witnessing presence. Do you understand the difference? So this is what is done in the practice of I Am Yoga. So when you are witnessing presence and you face the edge in particular posture, you will notice your ego mind will engage into self-talk. Now, you are not doing yoga postures, your ego mind is doing its self-talk. What will self-talk will be like? It will represent your self-concepts. It will have, if you are suffering from, I'm not good enough, that's what it will do. Use your what comes out to the posture as, I'm not good enough. Look how many people are doing better. I've been so many days, so many weeks. That will be self-talk. Or, if you are suffering from superiority complex, the self-talk would be, look, I can do so much better than even my teacher. None of them, these are called practicing conflict internally. Do you get the difference? That is called the cause. And the edge that you face in your yoga postures is the effect. As I told you yesterday, the effect is created and caused by ego mind. So ego mind can remove the edge in the body, but it cannot remove itself. That is why Patanjali says you cannot practice yoga unless you witness the modifications of mind and disengage from identification with your mind. Do you see? That means you disengage from the root cause, your ego mind itself, that has separated from the source of oneness that yoga is, that our lineage is, that Shiva is, that Shakti is. Everything is everything is in disorder then. So this is just very surface explanation I'm giving you. And then in this system, we also use posture of consciousness. So we use edge where we train and learn how to replace conflict-creating ego mind that engages into fight or flight reaction on the edge, and the body becomes the war zone. We don't understand. We just keep doing it, and we think doing yoga. No, now body mind are in conflict. But most people do not know that there is any other way to work with it. That's an amazing thing that's going on in the world, because they do not know the secret of yoga. That there is another way to get rid of the edge and also get rid of the edgy ego mind. Do you understand? So this option people do not know. So they do yoga, and all the sports are done through the medium of the ego, through the ambition we call, an ambition to be the winner and the best. How many people you think when they reach the world-class level in any sport, when they have done, what they have done is they have crossed the edge with their ego mind better than anybody else. Therefore, now they stand at the top, at the peak of world-class sportsmen. What has he solved in his life? In his love life, family life, work life, social life? Nothing. All the conflicts are the same. He is world-class. Yoga doesn't do that. Yoga is totally different. It's doing inner work. That means it brings harmony between you and yourself. But if you are in disharmony if you are more in conflict within, you can be a bigger achiever outside. That is available. We talked about it. So this is about, its focus is how to bring inner harmony. And what is your body is the temple means how to enter this integrated zone where the sanctuary of Shiva and Shakti is in our Sahasrara, where they unite. That is called samadhi stage. So where are we now? We are living in a first three chakra, which represents survival level subconscious functions of the first three chakras. So that the Muladhara is the survival of the body. That's all it is concerned about, instinctive urge to survive. And then sensuality, survival of the species, which Mother has built into us so that we continue to produce the crazy people. So that they can continue to handle what they personally are pre-programmed to solve, and that cannot be solved. This is evolutionary stage. It's not our humanity doing it. They have to go through this stage to reach to the self-realization stage. So how does it work? So when soul enters the body, it enters first through the medium of breath. And when it enters through the medium of breath, it is inborn within us with the divine potential of I am that I am. It remains I am that I am. So that there it is built as unified state of male and female. In yoga it is called Ardha Narishwar Shiva, half male, half female Shiva. That is called the state of samadhi. When that breath manifests and animates the body through what? Through autonomic nervous system called sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And this autonomic nervous system functions instinctively. Okay? Means you don't have to learn. When baby is born, it doesn't have to go through some lessons how to suck mother's breast to feed itself. Right? So the survival level skills are inborn within us. So and that is going through the subconscious. And so science calls it autonomic nervous system. This is where the whole difference begins. It is not machine. It's not automatic. It does appear automatic, but yogis see that it is the separation of Shiva and Shakti unified state as a divine potential of reaching into the samadhi. When they manifest in the body, Shiva and Shakti separate into sympathetic male and parasympathetic female. So male is being, female is prana. So your subconscious is manifesting as prana being, consciousness and energy. Do you understand? Now, every human being is born identified with their ego mind. They are carrying over past karmic impressions. So, we are already born dominating the sympathetic nervous system that is operated by the being presence, is in our body, is dominated by ego mind, karmic past. So most people all day long, they are using the consciousness channel for their ego channel. Do you see? So now, when we are born, the babies are born, and then their nervous system is not mature, they are still living in a subconscious state. So you will see, subconscious state means consciousness and energy are in perfect harmony with the entire creation. So that is why in Catholic religion it is said that children for first 7 years are in oneness with God. Why? Because they haven't yet separated. But that was said maybe 2,000 years ago. 7 years is too much for today's children. Maybe 2 is appropriate, because they start doing tweaking and playing computer as games, and they get into the ego mind much faster. So they get together with 2, 3 years or 4 years max. When I was raised, I wasn't in that culture. I was in such a simple culture that we didn't have radio, television, electricity, running light. Everything was cooked with a wood fire. My mother would cook on a wood stove with not even stove, wood, earthen stove, something. When you are raised like that, then your innocence is extended for a longer time. And when your impressions are very susceptible to all the distractions and disturbing ways of the movies we see, people we hear, people interact, angry, fearful, we just say, oh, that's what mind is learning, how to live in a social life. That's all mind has learned in this incarnation. And it learned through the filters of what you didn't complete, karmic past, in your past. So, this is why right now, as it is, our mind is dominating sympathetic nervous system and using parasympathetic nervous system energy as its medium to make its desire and turn it into fulfillment of its desire and prevent the same energy it used to prevent you from the fear. Fears are projected, attachments are projected in memory. You are using the energy in a wrong way. Therefore, abusive use of energy gets built into the form of energy blocks in your body and memory blocks in your brain. We call karmic past. So, how do you remove it? So, in our tradition, we have a whole new dimension that average person doesn't know. That is the uniqueness. Is that when you practice yoga, what are you doing? When you witness your thoughts and your emotions, while you are doing yoga postures, what are you doing? You are withdrawing from the reactive perceiver that is dominating sympathetic nervous system and replacing with consciousness. Do you see now? Consciousness is now, with its own innate evolutionary impulse, is activating parasympathetic nervous system and carrying out all the prana kriyas that purify your body and initiate evolutionary functions in your body. Do you get it now? How this part is not understood in the world. They know that, but they don't know that. They do not know enough how to use it consciously. So you are making connection with superconscious at the subconscious level. Superconscious you cannot access. So once you enter through meditation, once you enter into oneness, the subject has already merged into the object. You cannot do anything there. You're done. So that's what sitting meditation does. This provides a whole new dimension for you to do active meditation. So when you are actively doing yoga postures and you are coming by fight or flight, fear or attachment mode of acting, you are dismantling that with witnessing modifications of mind and reconnecting in your body so that now your body is functioning in harmonious co-creation between consciousness and energy. Did you get it? This is not philosophical. This is called anatomy of the soul. So it is so connected to the body. So how do you get there? That is why Shiva temple breath work you are walking into the temple, that's a physical. Then you do pranayama, right? Shiva, Hanuman, that represents pranayama. Then you practice pratyahara, the total. Then when you practice pratyahara, you withdraw your disturbances that come through the five senses. One of the biggest disturbance is sensuality, and sex being the king in all that. So when that creates a lot of disturbance, you lose vitality every time you are in reaction, self-rejection, guilt, fear or attachment. Your ego mind that is dominating sympathetic nervous system is pulling on the parasympathetic prana to fulfill its desire that has no basis of reality. Therefore, such energy that is turned into anger, fear, perceptions about yourself and other does not complete the gestalt. Therefore, it remains as your karma body for you to solve in future. To seek, this is all the people who don't understand karma yoga. This is karma yoga. So then you go to that level of oneness. Then when your ego mind is withdrawn, then this is called inner dimension of yoga. So then I have built many different tools, techniques, and insightful teaching that I'm talking about as to how to enter the temple, so that while you are doing yoga postures, you enter the sanctum of consciousness, where Shiva and Shakti unite, where Shiva and Shakti are working in co-creation rather than conflict when ego was dominating sympathetic nervous system. This is the difference. So this is biological happening. So people, when they practice spirituality, they don't have tactile information whether they are doing it or not doing it. See, in this, when you are relaxed in your life, no matter what you are doing, it's spiritual. You are connecting to the polarity in which your subconscious lives. You are living in harmony with your body. Your body and mind are in harmonious interaction. And then prana kriya happens. But somebody was sharing, like as soon as I thought my mind, it just disappeared, experience. So mind then takes over the sympathetic, and then co-creation disappears. All the new level of, another whole new level of consciousness, where the experiences are very different, that are not non-rational. They're not reasonable. They are just in a different dimension. I'm sure you have experienced those things when you go into prana kriyas. How many of you have experienced something while doing yoga that you know you were not doing it and it happened independently? Have you ever experienced? Very good. That is the signature. That's called signature yoga practice. Yes. So I would like to just give you some idea about how to go to that, because we don't have much time, and tomorrow you finish again. So I want you to have the experience about how to enter into the inner dimension. So, inner dimension, see, your body and your mind are designed to work in society. So in the external world. They're not designed to do the inner work. Do you understand? So everything, that is why when you do the yoga postures as outer work, physical work, your mind is taking care of it, but that is the one that is not bringing you into integration, inner work. You see? That's why Patanjali said masterful technique. He says, yoga happens in now. The discipline of yoga happens in now. not in future, something to be achieved like samadhi. He can't do that. And then he makes it further clear and really applicable, actively applicable. Say, do it, constantly watch the modifications of mind. Means disengage from the mind that is working out of the past so you can drop into the present. That's the meaning. So, let me guide you into experience. Let's all stand up. Just interlock your fingers and raise your palms up above slowly and hold your hands up, arms up. And relax. When you relax, you have to get connected to the body. You have to recognize where the tensions are. And in order to relax, you just bring your awareness there, and relaxation happens. Sometimes you may use body movements to do that too. Now bring your attention to your breath. Now release your fingers and let your palms be open, shoulder width apart. Bring all your attention to the palms. And then slowly bring your elbows down in front of you. And your palms are parallel to your shoulders, facing each other. Keep your attention on the palms. Just be still. Just attention on palm. Relax your fingers. Open your armpit a little bit, so don't keep it tight. And notice where attention goes, energy flows. Where attention goes, blood flows too. So notice your palms getting a little bit heavier. Relax your finger. Feel the heaviness. And move your palms just about slowly an inch towards each other. And then slowly pull away, back and forth. Not even an inch, maybe half an inch movement back and forth. Then lower your arm a little more, another 15 degrees. And do the same thing. Then lower your arms by your side. And feel the heaviness even grows more. Slowly bend forward, as if you are going to touch your toes. Relax as you move forward. Go as far as your body will allow, then stop there. Do not push. So now you have come to your edge. and there is a specific spot which stops you from moving further. Now here you take deep breaths to enter the temple that your body is. Relax. Instead of fight with it, to go deeper. Replace it with breath and consciousness. Now when you relax there, automatically you can go even deeper into the posture. So let go of the fear of being hurt, which is also mind, but without forcing, with consciousness and breath, you can move even deeper. Allow yourself to go a little further. Hold your ankles. And slowly, as you breathe out, just go even deeper. Relax. Relax and go deep, rather than fight to go deep or force to go deep. You can go even more. You know that when you relax, it opens up. Consciousness, the light of consciousness, removes the tensions, the darkness, and creates a passage for you to move deeper and break the barriers. Now slowly come into kneeling position. Lower your knees on the floor. Lower your hips on your heels. Lower your head on the floor, forearms on the floor. Bring your energy. Just visualize your energy is at the base of the spine. Visualize like the beam of light that is at the Muladhara Chakra. Relax your arms, your shoulders, and bring this light from Muladhara to Swadhisthana. And feel all the organs related to Muladhara and Swadhisthana are lit up with consciousness, the light, removing all the blockages of energy. The energy meridians are opened up. Same thing will happen when you go to Manipura now. Move to the Manipura chakra, the third chakra. Now you have withdrawn attention from the first three chakras. Now bring all your attention to the third eye, the spot between your eyebrows. And feel the energy pouring into your brain, nourishing all the brain centers. All the brain centers are lit up with light of consciousness, light of Shiva and Shakti. Allow your body to drop into even deeper level of relaxation for all the centers of consciousness to be lit up with light of consciousness. You are connecting to the lineage, the light and love of Lord Lakulish, the Shiva, and energy. Both have united in the third eye, Now keeping your focus on the third eye, keeping your eyes closed, please come up slowly and sit on your seat without opening the eyes if you can. Just go back on your seat, sit up straight and stop moving too much as soon as you can and be still. Be in the comfortable position, not in a kneeling position, or just sit comfortably so you don't have to change the position later on. Now feel all the energy that has flooded the brain, your Sahasrara, is now cascading down like the rivers of energy through your nervous system. Pulsating, energetic rivers. Your whole body is now filled with pulsations of life force. You have completely disconnected from your mind doing anything. You have landed so fully in your prana being that you feel new sense of reaching into the whole new level of consciousness where there is no friction, where there is no conflict. Experience this new sense of integration, blissful experience of Ananda. Now that you have become so merged into energy fields, feel that your whole body, you have gone beyond the boundaries of the body in the pulsating energy fields. You have merged into the cosmic energy fields. You have moved beyond the boundaries of body and mind. Your energy became the medium to reconnect with the source of oneness. Experience that ecstasy, the complete sense of contentment, tranquility, and stillness. You may now just become aware how calm your mind is, how calm your breath is, how relaxed your body is. Just see how calm everything. You are so deeply integrated and relaxed. And then gradually open your eyes. Now, I will ask you to pay attention to, I'm going to give you an experience of how to use breath and consciousness to drop into experience of oneness. Okay? Just watch what I'm doing. I'll be doing Kapalbhati breath, then I'll drop in. So you just simply relax and feel rather than try to think what I'm doing or remember what I'm doing or try to remember how to do it. Don't go there. Just simply feel and experience. Okay? Just sit comfortably. Relax. This is, you can use breath and witnessing presence to drop into the connection with the source of oneness. When you connect with the source, the energy just floods the room. You see, you have connections because consciousness and energy move together. And you use breath and consciousness, both breath, so to enter this. So I want to explain more about what happens when you get there. I would like to share that with you. When you share what you felt when I went in, what did you sense? What did you feel? What did you experience? Then I will reflect on it so that you know more about prana kriyas, prana and relationship with consciousness, and what happens there when you go there. Okay, who would like to share? Okay, yes, please. Just share what you felt. I mean, this is, just share what you felt. You can, yeah. You're not doing anything else, just what you felt, what you sense, what you experience.
So I...
Yeah, there it is. Tap it, see if it is working.
This is 3.
Yes.
He's got the magic. So I'm still a little bit...
Also, what happened to you when I guided you into the experience as well, like you went forward, I was asked you to get up, and then how the energy felt, or whatever you want to share.
Okay. So for me, when we were in the seated part of the meditation, and I felt that sense of real connection, and then I felt like a tractor pull, like like something out of a UFO movie where they talk about being like tractor pulled into like another space, like being pulled up, or just the sense of like from here being pulled forward.
Mm-hmm.
And
because see, prana was doing that internally. You surrendered.
Yeah.
So when I surrendered, you picked up the surrender. What was happening here, you picked up through synergy. So that is what happens, and then you felt pull, and some of the prana kriya started happening.
Yeah.
But it is internal, not all external in this case. And you see differently, you see different things, you feel different things. So describe whatever else you felt or sensed.
So there was a sense of just really watching, not feeling, I felt great equanimity about it, so just sort of found myself just moving forward. I wasn't moving, it just was happening.
Pulling rather
and it was, when you say the word surrender, it felt very much like surrender.
Yes.
Yeah. Not an
what
easy
else
thing
did you
for
feel?
me. So
there are more things that happen. If you pay attention, you'll be able to, most people cannot easily verbalize what they felt and say what they felt. Because if you are more conscious, you will remember what you felt also. So, go ahead, if you remember it. You don't.
During that period of time, I just felt like there was nothingness. Nothingness, like just to say it was space isn't correct.
That's beautiful. Nothingness. That's when you go into oneness, you are into nothingness. There is no thing there. There is no subject and object.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
No subject. Yeah. How many of you experience the sense of like you went somewhere but it was nothing, and when you came back you realize may I see hands more fully? Wow, almost all of you got there. So you got there. That is called experience of yoga, of oneness, of Shiva and Shakti. It's not so mysterious, it's real. You can go there. That's why I demonstrated, and you got it, so you understand what is so philosophical. It's attainable for anybody at any time. That's why I demonstrated this.
When you did the breath work, and then you sat. I just had a lot of sort of twitching. It wasn't like a...
There was twitching in your body?
Yeah, it wasn't, I didn't say it was twitching. It was just this sort of...
Yeah, that is natural.
You know, sort of stuff
Yeah,
happening.
energy is twitchy.
Yeah, so I had a lot of that sort of going on again spontaneously and not feeling like I was driving it or anything, because I was like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? You know?
Right, that means
And then
it was
just-
happening non-mentally. And then he said, what is that?
Yeah, and then,
And mind, who doesn't know anything about it, whoa, what is that?
yeah. And then I just let it go, and the more that I let go,
Right,
the more
right.
that I experienced it and just really was in it. And again, that sense of, you know, I don't know, that nothingness. It feels like there's some other word for that I want to
No,
use.
there is
but-
another word, is like you felt oneness. There was no you separate from other in this room,
Yeah.
or in this space, or in this world.
Yeah.
You disappeared
Yeah.
from separateness, and you experienced a sense of oneness. That's what happened.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
so
you for
much
sharing.
Thank you.
Yes. Now just let the guests share. Guests share. Yes, please.
Thank you. I felt like there were these waves in my brain that were just cooling my brain down when we got onto the floor.
Very
And you
good.
said to focus on the third eye.
Right.
And then I've had some pain in my low back for the past couple of days, and it's just gone right now.
Right.
And
That's what happens. The Shakti, when you surrender, it does the healing work. Sometimes amazing healing work that you have been suffering from years, and it's just taken off. Not always, not for everybody, not all the time, of course. But it happens amazingly, sometimes miraculously.
And when we were on the floor focusing on our third eye, I had the same experience that Chandra did, where I felt like I was just floating in space, and I was just this pure light.
Right. Pure light, floating
light.
in space.
Totally.
Don't tell to anybody else.
I won't. It'll be
They
our
will say-
secret.
Because they don't know where you went, so they will just minimize, and then you become vulnerable because you are barely getting to it and learning to believe in it, and you have the experience of it, but somebody can say, you must be crazy. You must be out of your mind, which you were, but they don't know what that meant.
It was lovely. Thank
What
you.
else? Just there are many things happen,
yeah.
so whatever you remember.
I also remember when we were standing and you said to just come in an inch, and the arms were very heavy. I felt like I was holding this energetic ball. It was heavy, but it was light at the same
Right.
time.
Right. How many of you experienced the energy field between your arms? May I see hands all the way? Thank you. So you did get it. See, this is what happens. There is a positive and negative polarity. Just like system, sympathetic and parasympathetic, left and right brain, sun and moon breath, this is same thing, polarity. So there is attraction. There is a male and female begins to work here.
Yeah.
So you feel it is the energy and consciousness.
And it was like the first time that my ego mind brain was turned off.
Right.
Yeah. It was
Right.
just
See,
heaviness.
right.
Yeah, it was just heaviness. I wasn't male, I wasn't female, I wasn't anything. I was just there.
Right. You were nobody. Right? You're neither male nor female, nor me versus you or me for you, or a world, everything disappears. When you go to oneness, that's a samadhi experience,
All right.
but temporarily induced,
Okay.
of course.
I won't tell anybody.
You can share here very openly, but to the strangers, they don't understand. So you're not going to get some say, wow, you got it. Because they might say, there must be something wrong with you. I never seen anything like that. It doesn't exist for them.
It was lovely. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
the most profound piece was when you went in to your pranakriya meditation, and with my eyes, the whole back wall turned this color, and your face became Hanuman.
It's like
Hanuman.
Hanuman.
Your face.
Mhm.
And you appeared to be floating to me.
Right. See, different changes in face can appear. Changes in skin tone can appear. How many of you saw some change in face in some form, not necessarily Hanuman, but change in face and skin tone? Messy, and we have to see all the way. Thank you. That's beautiful. So that is also happening in a non-mental domain, so mind will not understand. So why am I asking you to share? I know what happened. I know it very clearly. But when you share, and when I ask you to raise hands, you look at them and say, oh my God, my experience was real. Mm-hmm. Otherwise you won't trust it. So I'm getting cooperation from everybody else who had gone in that dimension. And when they raise hands, you say, I think I can trust my experience too.
Yeah.
Do you see the reason? Otherwise, these are new dimension, and your mind will throw obstacles in it and say, are you sure you got it? Is it real? Yes, it's absolutely real.
I also feel the temperature changing in my body frequently. So a moment ago I was cold, now I'm very hot. Right. Before we went into the meditation, the standing meditation, I was really warm.
Very good.
I had trouble breathing.
You will feel tingling sensation, temperature change, different areas, and all these things happen. Yes.
And then in the when we put our arms up and did that meditation, I was in some kind of temple, and there was...
it is a temple posture, wasn't it?
There was some gold on the ceiling of the temple, like in little cone, like this shape, from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
So you visited those dimensions that are beyond the ego mind. Yes. So that is entering the sanctum, the Shiva temple. So that's what I guided you, how to enter the temple. Yes? And that's what the yoga practice is about, is how to enter the temple.
Can I ask you a question? So when you're having the sight, the vision, how long can you stay in that?
If you just don't interrupt your mind, it will go into other areas. You got LSD experience without taking it. Because your body produces actually those hormones in your body, ecstasy hormones, and it gives you this. You don't have to take marijuana or ecstasy or anything. This is the beauty. These are the hormones of dopamine and serotonin and melatonin and all those hormones. They pour, your body becomes the factory to manufacture it. Just like when you are angry, it pours poisons out of the same organs, and you feel agitated, painful, and unhappy. It's all created in your body. So this, when you go to who you really are, in yoga it is called Sat Chit Ananda, truth, bliss, and consciousness. So when you enter the bliss, it is the experience of bliss. And different people have different kind of experiences, but they are all about the same thing said in a different way or felt in a different way. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Whoever wanted to share. Yes. See, you will know more about it by sharing, and you will trust about your own experience by sharing. Even if it didn't happen, there is a reason, But most of you got it. Yes. You're welcome.
So a lot of what people have shared, I've had similar experience.
But tell your own, even if it is the same, in your own words.
Okay.
Because I may share something else about it.
Well, one thing that was really different when we were doing the standing posture, the vibration in my body, the pulsing in my body started to buzz.
Right, but so let me ask you, when you sat up, obviously all the energy was focusing on the third eye, because I didn't guide you through long chakra system, I just make it short. And when it explodes in the brain, your brain gets flooded with blood and energy, and it illumines all the centers of brain. It really nourishes the brain. And when you sit up, it like cascades like the rivers of energy through your nervous system. And all the body is like pulsating energy field. So when I was guiding you, you were feeling it. I was just repeating what you were feeling, but I wasn't guiding in a way. So when I said just your energy, whole body becomes one pulsating energy field. How many of you felt that pulsations through your body, throbbing pulsations? Good. Do you see then? Do you see how your mind can merge into it just like that? That is the technique of how to create a shift from mind to prana. You see? And then your mind will melt very quickly. And then you must have noticed your mind just disappeared after that. Instantly. Go ahead.
So as the pulsing was happening, there was quite a bit happening in my palms, almost like a disturbance. I mean, it was really hot. My palms became really hot.
Right.
I felt if I had touched someone, I could maybe,
Right.
they wouldn't like it.
Really?
They wouldn't like it. So I had that sensation. When you were breathing, the first place I felt it was in my heart. And it felt to me like your heart was expanding. And in that, I felt my heart expanding. And then it just sort of went out beyond your body and my body and just this
into cosmic
massive,
energy field, yes.
Heart that was expanding.
Right. There is another thing happens, the synergy happens so that when I do the breathing, you do not do, but you are doing it. This is amazing. And a very subtle level, you want to do it, but you don't do it, but it's happening. It's like people who practice visualize jogging, and people who are jogging, people who visualize get more effect of jogging than people who jogged. This is experimentally proved. So this is where you are using your consciousness and energy to move into another dimension.
I felt your breath. I felt like I was breathing. Just as you said, I felt like I was doing the breath work.
You were doing it, yes.
Yeah. Like Narayan, it wasn't so much that your face changed, but I felt you multiply. It was really, I saw like silhouettes of your head moving out in both directions and above.
Right, there are, it is, what do you call, psychic level. There are energies. And then if you go in the synergy with me, you see the things. Some people see the light, and then they see the light flooding all over. So this is visible to some people. Some people feel it, some people see it. You see? So, but either way, you move in the other dimension, inner dimension.
Will they lock me up
Anything else?
There was one other thing, and I just lost it.
This also is very important exercise because what you experience on that level begins to fade away.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to remember is very important. And remember is one thing, and then trust it is even more important after you remember it. That you have ability to go there. There is I was in Rishikesh many years ago, and there was a Swami Vedvyasanand, who came to our Kripalu center. And his disciple was the most famous Jagadguru Shankaracharya, kind of a very famous disciple. But when he came to Kripalu, he says, I want to give my Gita ashram in Rishikesh to you. So he invited me and invited all the top leaders of different ashrams. And I demonstrated this. There was one guy who had been to America and had a big ashram there. So he said, there are many, many gurus here. They live here, they do sadhana here, but I have never seen anybody ever demonstrate this. So this is a special gift to you that gives you like something that is considered so strange and only for yogis to do it, you can do it. That's my purpose. And you can get there very quickly. Yes.
The last thing I remember, I'm glad that you gave me time to remember.
Is that?
It felt at the end, I felt the bliss, but it felt like a channel.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like something that was moving up in you, and we were all merging into that ascending channel of bliss.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is not me giving to you, me being in it, and then if you are in the same synergy, you feel it. Mm-hmm. You receive it. So it is me being in it is central to it. Then you, being in synergy, you become the recipient of it. Yeah. Mm. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
So again, very similar to others. I had a similar experience with the nothingness and...
Say specifically, like all the things that you experience. Don't eliminate, because you may say in different words, then it gives the different areas of understanding.
Okay. So one of the primary things that I recall is when we were kneeling, and then on the floor, the forehead on the floor, I had the experience of a lot of warmth in my head. And then also colors behind my eyes, and
colors.
And it felt, but it didn't seem to be just behind my eyes. It also felt like it was moving, like the color blue through my head as well. When we were standing and we brought our hands together, when we were the hands coming down, I felt like a heaviness in the center of my chest.
No, it can be different areas. Sometimes you may feel like tension in your heart area. It's about energy, just opening your heart. People feel that pressure, and it's a physical, tactile experience sometimes.
Yeah.
And energy knows what is the highest priority for you. And that's what energy does. Go ahead.
That makes sense. I think I did see different skin tone when you were doing the breathing, and I felt very drawn into the breath. I mean, just having a very soft gaze on you, I felt very much like I was moving with you with the breath, both when you were doing it and then the stillness that came, that I could sense in your being.
Right. This is another thing. Like when you saw me breathing, And then when I stopped breathing, did you feel energetically connected and almost wanting to close your eyes? Did you feel that? Yes. That means you got connected. Energy field became so big that you could feel connection directly.
Yeah. And one of the things that no one else has mentioned that I really felt was when we were sitting with our eyes closed and you would sound like you were doing the humming and the sound that you did, that like pierced my whole body. That felt so strong.
Which one?
When you would just
Oh, yes. Yes, that
the
sound,
sounds,
yes.
yeah. That for whatever reason, really, I could feel that
Yes.
fully in my entire. Yeah,
Right.
it was crazy. Out
Good.
of my mind.
So because when you are silent, you are hearing from a much deeper level than the ears. See, that's why it was so effective. And when it comes from that depth, it has that connection within me, and it connects within you.
Will you ask everybody to raise their hand if they had that too? You guys did?
Oh,
Okay,
wow, hands up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you notice that things were popping in the room too?
I didn't hear that as much, no.
Popping
Mm-mm.
when I was doing it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I think Devarshi has seen this kind of. I used to do posture flow, and you have seen that. That I don't do anymore. You must have seen it too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that was, people will go into the, yes, people go through major shifts during that time. Same thing here. I don't even do anything. If I just close my eyes, and if you look at me, you will go there. That's powerful. It gets that, because it's energetic connection with Shakti.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. You should, sir. Come, sir. You haven't.
Well, I think what you just said, I have been with you, and I've had many experiences, profound experiences, being with you and feeling a transmission of the consciousness that you exhibit in lots of different ways. So,
Lots of different ways. It's not just that way. See, when I talk also, yesterday when I was here, when I was talking 2 hours, it went like minutes for me. And then you said it felt like that for you also. So most people do not hear that way. They're just looking at the time, when is that thing over? This is different. That is what, when you practice this prana sadhana, you become so focused that you are not just teaching, but you are energetically transmitting the deeper and subtler meaning of what you are saying verbally. So people recognize that. Like I said nothing during this time. I didn't tell you what to watch for or what to experience. And I said, just simply feel. And you experience from being there. It wasn't because I told you and you created it. No.
so when you did the Kapalabhati and then went into stillness, I just felt, number one, I wanted to do Kapalabhati myself.
I know, that is so common.
And when you went into stillness, I felt I went there also. And then when we stood, it was some of the methodology that you'd been speaking about, which was inhaling my arms up. I felt like I could be there forever. And, I was just playing with subtle micro movements in places that seemed to have, areas of energy and I really felt like I could have been there forever.
Sometimes extending the holding of the postures. In the beginning, it could be a little struggle, but when you just relax and concentrate and witness, then you can go to, I can hold it forever. Yes.
In the
But you reach there because you practice it. So
And the whole ascending arms down, again, I felt at one point as we were coming down, I was just enjoying the experience and in the experience, and then I had this thought that went like, wait, am I with him or not with him? And I opened my eyes up, just slightly like this, because you're right in front of me. I could see your hands, and our hands were doing exactly the same thing. So I just thought, I'm following the directions, because part of me wasn't, am I even following the directions? So, and then the energy pulsing, which was really nice. I loved the forward fold. And again, felt like I could have been there for a very long time, and noticed, of course, when I first leaned forward with it, my hands were somewhere around the middle of my shin. And by the end of it, my palms were on the ground, which had just been from...
Right.
And micro movements were happening. And
right.
So I enjoyed it. Could have done it for another hour.
Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
So you do the same thing. You see, people do Kapalbhati all the time. But you see when you do it. So most people do not know the difference between breathing exercise and pranayama. When you do mentally, it is called breathing exercise. When you do consciously, it's called pranayama. So I did pranayama. That was real pranayama. That connects to prana, and prana becomes the link to oneness, the divine presence within. So this is actually practical. You can do that no matter where you are, what you are doing, who you are with, doesn't matter. You can enter from conflict-creating interaction that happens in the dualistic mode into co-creative interaction. It happens in the mode of polarity, where you, consciousness, and energy are in co-creative rhythm. Anywhere. Yes. You can share. Yes?
I have a question, actually.
No, come and share, and then question will come after that. This time is time for you to share and explore that. And then I would love to answer your question too.
I don't remember much.
Is what?
I said I don't remember much.
Much.
I wasn't going to share because I just went, and I don't have a lot of very...
This is okay too.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you are sharing
Yeah.
that. But when I ask you to open your eyes, I want to ask you all, like when I ask you to open your eyes, how many of you didn't want to open the eyes? Like that's it.
Yeah.
See, then you are okay. You got it. No, really, because you were there. See, that experiences are not necessary as a validation that you have arrived. Yeah? Then experiences can change. So, but that's why different people had different experiences. So, did you feel the energy when your palms? Yes.
I remember that very much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but there was...
when you drop into oneness, see what happened for you is you didn't go through the feeling, sensations, and all those things. You just went into oneness. And I said, I don't know anything. That's fine. That's what I was telling you, that most people who spiritually learn how to meditate, they go into oneness. This yoga teaches you how the transition time where you do the work that brings you from conflict-creating duality of ego-mind into co-creative conscious interaction with who or what is present. That is where you prepare to be in tune with reality and yourself in the duality interaction. Then it takes you to unity. So duality, polarity rather. Polarity is the active unity, and unity is potential polarity. You see?
Sure.
Polarity is your mind. So you got it, so don't worry about that. But hearing all these things would be useful when you do yoga. Yes.
Can I
I'm
ask?
glad I asked you. Now you can ask
May
me
I ask my question?
I mean, that was very important sharing because somebody might experience that.
So my question is, in the beginning, as we went into the steeple, and I remember bringing my arms down. I remember this. I remember the forward fold. I remember the coming down into child's pose. But there was, and it was blissful through all of that. And then,
Then you said you didn't have any experience.
but then I had a total loss.
So what you might be talking is, I didn't have the experience I expected. That would be correct statement.
I couldn't describe for you, colors or sensations.
That's what I meant. That's what I was telling you.
Yeah.
You expected those things.
As people
but you had a
spoke about.
blissful experience. That's the whole purpose.
Yeah. And I have no idea how much time passed.
That is another amazing experience.
But
So that's what I was telling. Like
Yes.
when I talk, when I'm in prana, the time disappears.
So my question is, there was a part of me in the beginning when we held, I thought, we're not doing this very long. And it seemed as if, and maybe it was just a complete distortion of time, but I didn't feel like we were here very long. I didn't feel like anything that
I didn't keep very long anywhere.
in anything.
Yeah.
And yet there were profound, and yet the experience was very profound.
This is precisely what I mean. Like, I didn't go into something for a whole hour before you start feeling it. It's instant.
So how do I do it on my own at home? Is my question is, my sense is that if I were to go home and do this, do the same exact
Now, in the
physical
beginning,
experiences.
First of all, you need the direct experience. So now, direct experience, Gani. Then you know the technique that you have to practice. And practice so that your mind can be focused, attentive, engaged, and merged into the activity. So when you brought your hands here and when you do this, your mind was not in it, doing it. Even though you were doing it, you were not doing it. It was a paradoxical state. So that is why the doer and non-doing disappears into each other. Yes.
So you're saying time, just give it time.
Yeah.
Practice.
Yes. So don't try to go there and think you are working on it. Just do the principles and get over wherever you are, letting go of the mind dominating sympathetic nervous system, reacting when you find something holding you back to do the technique correctly. That's incorrect. So relaxing. Yeah, just use the principles and don't try to go to the non-mental state and then call success. Wherever you go, doing the right technique is the right place to arrive. Enjoy that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Huh? It's very close to time. Nobody else? One more?
I don't need to come up, but I just wanted to say that I just felt such a profound stillness.
Right.
That I just needed to just drop into that profound emptiness and to witness you again. The depth of your practice, I felt. The depth of the years and years of going to that place of stillness had such gravity for me.
Oh, yes.
That it held me,
Mm-hmm.
to just witness that, the depth of your practice.
Right. Wonderful. You know, that is what it is. Like, when you come there in my house, I will share with you the depth of the practice. I didn't know myself how it was until that somebody, I will talk about it when you come there. Yeah. So I want to keep the mystery going. Okay. So. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, 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 Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Now you have learned how to drop into center very quickly. It does not take time. Once you have experienced, you have opened the passage to oneness. And you can quickly, immediately drop into the stillness, tranquility, peace. Jai Babuji. Yeah. Yeah.